Today, we're going to take you through the process of us getting our firewood for the winter. Actually, this time we bought our firewood. So we'll go through the entire process of sawing it up and stacking it for the winter. It's season wood. We're going to talk a little bit about what season wood is. And Father is here in the garden, so I know he's going to have a few words to say. You always do.
So this wood is called season wood. And what season wood is, it was cut last year. Sometime last year, it could have been spring, fall, or summer. And it was left to dry. Trees has a lot of sap, very wet inside. So if you cut down a tree and try to burn it, it's going to be very difficult to catch on fire, very difficult to stay lit. So you always want dry trees, dry chunks of wood. So we call it season wood. If you cut wood this year, you let it dry, and the best thing to do is to junk it up like this, stack it up so that air can flow in between each roll of wood, and it's easier to dry out. And next summer, next spring, you'll have beautiful dry wood, season wood. So when you're in the woods and you're trying to light a little fire, you always look for what they call blowdowns, trees that's been knocked down by the wind, that's dead and been drying for some time. You don't want to cut a live tree. You won't have no luck in getting it lit to create some heat, to create fire. So you always look for dry branches, dry trees, and seasoned wood. Mother just made a cameo. Right here she's giving me some threats, but that's okay. Let's get her in more videos. I'm sure you'll love seeing her more often. So when we got a lot of wood like this, it do take time to saw it up and pile it. And they're in their mid-60s, and they're like someone in their 20s. They love outdoors and they love dealing with firewood. And Dad, like I said, he's out there almost till dark at the wood. It's a lot of work, very heavy wood, as you can see, throwing that junk up there. This is a electric log splitter. Makes the work of splitting your junks so much easier. It has a wedge at the end and hydraulics that just pushes the junk into the wedge and splits it. Much easier than using the axe or a manual splitter. And as you can see, Dad's using a manual splitter. See how wide it is at the top? It just cuts right down through. The weight of it is very heavy, so it all helps in splitting the wood. Or you can use an axe. Years ago, that's all they had was an axe. And you see how much more work it is? And you turn it upside down and it makes it easier to split through it. A lot more work. Could you imagine having to do 7 cord of wood just with an axe? Just unreal. But Dad loves working with the firewood, just like a little kid. Loves it. Takes more work, flip it over. Usually easier when you flip over your axe and use the back of the axe.
So now that we got all of our firewood sawed up into junks, we're going to pack it up. Still got a little bit left to do. So we got a few junks here on the ground. We're going to bring it right over to the wood pile.
What are you doing? Don't you know there's a wrong way and a right way to pack wood?
What am I doing wrong now? How is there a right way and a wrong way to pack wood? You just pack it up. You take a chunk of wood, you place it on top. You take another chunk of wood, you place it on top. Another chunk of wood, and you place it on top. How is there a right way and a wrong way, Dad?
It's very simple. Every chunk of wood has a big end and a smaller end. I don't know if you know or not, but this used to be a tree. A tall, lustrous tree. So it had a big end at the butt. As it got taller, you have a smaller end. So if you stack all your wood with the big end sticking out, as you go up each pile and your smaller end is in, your bigger end is out, you might start off a bit level, but as you go up, each layer you put on the wood pile, it will go up more. So your wood pile is going to slant inward. If you do the opposite, and your big end is always in, as you go up, it will slant more, and your wood pile is going to fall over. So you need to get each layer when you stack your wood. almost perfectly level. So if you do this with the big end in, the next layer, the big end out. You do this to keep your wood pile as level as possible. And it will be straight, it'll be perfect, and it will never fall over.
So there is a right and wrong way to stack wood. I guess that's why all my wood piles, well, most of them would fall over. I didn't know that. Well, guess you learn something every day.
What do you do that for?
What did I do this time?
Your wood pile is not straight. You see? There you go. Perfectly level. You understand now? Level.
Are you serious? You just moved it like a quarter of an inch. Are you serious? That's not going to make that big a difference. I understand it has to be level as possible, so it's not leaning in or leaning back, so your pile doesn't tip over. But really, that makes that big a difference? Come on.
I've been getting firewood my entire life. I know all about piling wood. That little quarter of an inch can be life or death. You don't want that pile to fall over. Someone could be trapped underneath. We could have saved someone's life by that quarter of an inch. You're lucky I was here.
Are you serious? Live or die? Sometimes I just gotta walk away.
So we're going to make a wood horse. What is a wood horse? A lot of people don't know because they've never been around firewood. And a wood horse is basically two cross members, two X's like this, and you put some spans on it, and you put your log up on top, and you just use it to cut up your firewood.
So years ago, when they just had what we call a buck saw, very simple saw, cuts really good, they would make a wood horse. Very simple design, be able to get the wood up off the ground. You can put many different sticks or logs onto this wood horse, 4 or 5 of them, very easy. So if you want to saw down through all of them, very easy and simple to do. Or you can just saw down through one. And the buck saw, once it grabs hold, very sharp. Very simple, very easy. Even with a chainsaw, you get the wood up off the ground, because a lot of times they use their grab and grab the wood off the ground. A lot of times they take a lot of dirt. So the dirt gets trapped in between the logs. So when you're using your chainsaw and just cutting from the pile, a lot of times your chain is going to hit that ground. As soon as it hits the ground, you got your edge gone off your chain. Then you got to sharpen it again. The more times you sharpen a chainsaw chain, the more you take away of the metal. So your chain's not going to last as long if you're always ebbing sharpening it. And when your chainsaw is not sharp, it's a lot harder to saw up wood. You need a very sharp chain. So by lifting your wood onto a wood horse, it becomes very easy, very simple. If there's any dirt, you can wipe the dirt off. Because a lot of times it's not just a matter of a bit of dirt, it's clumps of ground with rock and gravel, everything trapped between. It could be a big clump. So this way, get it up off the ground, get it out of the wood pile. Very easy. Use your chainsaw, and we put in extra of these cross members, so then it can be supported. So you can cut it here, because this one here will support it in here. I don't have this one put together yet. And same thing right down across. So a wood horse is a great device to be able to cut up your firewood. So as you can see, all the wood is actually sawed up. We're bagging a lot of the sawdust, bringing it to the recycling place, and we got an excavator hired for later this month. we want to slope the land back towards the fence, get all the water to run off. And we're going to put down some probably 3/4 stone instead of crushed stone or the Class A stone, because this area is going to be for the wood and it's also going to be for the side-by-side. So you'll be scuffing it up quite a bit. And this area over here where you see the bags of sawdust, this is where our vegetables are going to be next spring. We're going to put a fence right across there, keep the dogs out. We have a gate, and our raised beds will be all in this area here. All this is going to be raised beds. We're going to have a lot more vegetables next spring, and this area is just going to be for the side-by-side and vegetables. That way we can keep the gate open, the main gate right here, keep that open anytime we want, and we don't have to worry about the dogs getting out because of the fence. We'll keep them in the back garden. So the area where we have our vegetables now, over where the pallets is, that was just temporary. See, can we grow some vegetables? And it worked out fantastic this year. We have lots of vegetables this year. So we're taking down those pallets. We're going to stack them up and use them for something else later on. But we're going to level off the rest of the land next year once we have the pallets down. So a lot of work coming, and we have a lot of videos coming as well. We're open to do some new things in the spring, and we're going to keep that pretty quiet for now. And if you enjoyed this video, please check out this video of my baked beans. It's the old style traditional baked beans. Go check that out. I think you'll really enjoy that video, and we'll see you in our next video.